Great to have you one more time. My name is Martyna Dudkiewicz. I am the host for today. I will be presenting you to a little bit closer to free electrons. And as you know, today's webinar will be a lot on practical things. We want to as well bring you real oh, sorry. All good? I hope all good there. If you're not using your mic or sharing, I will maybe start with that to please mute yourself. Cameras on, because we all always want to see you, see your faces as well. However, with the microphones, let's keep it muted if you are not speaking. Right in the beginning, I will also ask you to make sure that your description, your name, is telling both your name and your company name so we can identify you better further on. Right now, I will have short introduction. We will go to interviews with two of our guests. And at the very end, we definitely want to spend a good time answering your questions. That can be question about anything related to free electrons, both your application, your participation in the program, and or questions to our guests. You can already write your questions in the chat, okay? So we will right away kick off with the ones that appear first, but there will be also a time to unmute yourself and ask a question here. Hope everyone's ready. Let's start. Starting with, I hope you all know why you're here. Free Electrons is really a great opportunity. This is the largest open innovation program focused on bringing energy startups and utilities all together to work on solutions to tackle the biggest challenges in the sector. We are very happy and very proud of some of the numbers that really describe well all the work that has been done over the last years. It's been already 9 editions of the program. We are in the celebratory 10th edition right now. Over the years, we had applications from 119 countries, and I really hope that this year I saw a big already variety of countries that apply to the program or participants from different countries. So it also defines that this is a global program that is really welcoming everyone from all parts of the world, and also it is a good program for you to reach new markets. 130 startup finalists. One of them is with us today to share his experience, but it's a really exclusive group of startups that where utilities saw the biggest potential, and they got to the final stages of the program. More than 250 pilots completed, and I think that this is a number that might be really encouraging for you at this stage, meaning that this program is really focused on a practical point. It is not only the meetings and getting to know each other, but really sitting down and discussing business. 12 utilities engaged over the 9 years. I will in a moment show you the 6 utilities that make a program of today, but to encourage you even more in the very beginning with some numbers, this program not only delivers real opportunities to discuss business, but we see the result. It is a program that is really focused on in a long-term perspective, on long-term partnerships, and you can see it here. Over all these years, it's been more than $143 million invested in startups in different format, either in pilots, in deployments, or direct investment. This is a real opportunity, and I hope you feel it. You feel excited. 6 utilities that are here with us from all over the world, really covering all continents. We have CLP also. CLP team is here today with us from Hong Kong, EDP from Portugal, E.ON based in mainly Germany, ESB from Ireland, Hydro-Quebec from Canada, and Origin from Australia. Today also we have Suchi from Origin will be sharing her perspective on free electrons, and we will get into this in a moment. Before we go, I also want to get you familiar with those faces here with Beta E team. I want to say that we are always here to support you. You most probably already heard from us, received an email from us. We are a company that has been supporting utilities and free electrons for many years right now in making sure that this program goes well. Startups are engaged, utilities as well ready to talk to you and discuss business, and we are always here to support you in any step of the program and after the program as well. Right now, let's go quickly by the timeline of the program. I really do hope that you know how it is structured, but we would like this webinar to leave it very clear. We are starting with the open call, and this is where we are right now. We are waiting for your applications until January 31st, so you still have a month and a half to go, but do not wait. I hope that by the end of this call, you will be so encouraged that the application will be finished even this week. The result of open call phase is that 60 startups are selected among all of them, and all of the applications will be thoroughly reviewed. The 60 will be invited to the next phase, the pitch event. Pitch event is a time, or it's 1 week during which we invite you for a short moment to pitch your solutions online to all the utilities. And this is where utilities have opportunity to get to know you better, ask you some questions as well, and make the final decision to select 30 startups to proceed to the bootcamp. Bootcamp will be the first time we will meet in person. This is a 4-day event during which 30 startups have a chance to have one-on-one meetings with utilities. It is a very, very intensive and busy time where we focus on discovering the opportunities, identifying as well potential for collaboration, and that is a really, really great moment as well for both sides to really validate the opportunities between organizations. After the bootcamp, there is the final, let's say, selection, because after the bootcamp, only 15 startups are selected to move on. And that's the last moment, the last element, let's say, phase of the funnel. After the bootcamp, we will meet in master module week. This is week where we already know who the finalists are, who are the 15 startups that were identified as the highest potential for the all utility group. And during the master module, it is very important that both sides really deep dive into what is the structure of our pilot. This is very often as well where those conversations get really detailed about how can we test your solution and understand what is the potential for our business case. There is one last module, Grand Finale. And Grand Finale, as you can expect, is really a big celebration of the whole journey. This is the last moment we meet in person in that edition, and this is where we often hear pilots being announced and popping up like mushrooms after the rain, which is a very exciting time. But it is, of course, a result of a very intensive and hard work over the previous months. Very often, Grand Finale, it is also a moment to cement everything that has been done before, and it is not guaranteed that all of the startups by this time will have a pilot, but definitely all of the startups will have a clear idea of where the potential is. as I told you, the program is a thinking long term. So this intensive time during the program is definitely a moment for you to work as hard as possible on finding out what the collaboration should look like, but those relationships go far beyond grand finale moment. I hope you feel encouraged. And right now, that's everything from my side. I would like to invite our two guest speakers. First, Suchi Szczepański from Origin Energy, Senior Manager, Future Energy Technology. Hello, Suchi. And Matt Reisenstein, CEO, co-founder and Chief Commercial Officer at Kopia Energy. Hello, I'm hoping to share my screen and we will look to each other face to face. Francisca here will help me to pin our square so we can see each other. Hello, Suchi. Great to have you. And hello, Matt. Great to have you as well.
Morning, good afternoon, everyone.
How are you feeling to be back in one of the webinars this time? Not anymore to get ready for one of the modules, but really to promote the program.
I feel nostalgic, to be honest. We're very excited for all of you who are joining.
Nice. That's good to hear. Thank you, Matt. So I have a few questions, and I really think that the best way to explain the program will be through your words, people that really are there very intensively throughout those weeks and do the job. So please, I have prepared a few questions for you, and I hope that for everyone that is here with us in the audience, that will be a good overview of what the program is. If you have any questions, I just want to remind you, drop them in the chat. We will be getting to that right after this short fireside chat. And Suchi and Matt will be ready to respond. So let's get into it. Matt, I would like to start with you, with alumni perspective. You participated in the program still this year, 9th edition. Can you tell us what did participating in free elections meant for your company? What changed for you? What did you take as a result of the program? And do you see any advantages, any benefits of the program that otherwise you wouldn't get in, let's say, without the structure?
Yes, and yes. I'm going to answer this with sort of three levels. I think on a personal level for both my co-founder and I, we were probably the earliest stage company in the program, or one of the earliest stage companies in the program. So if you're at that pre-seed level, still early validation, still open to you, get on with it. And for us on a personal level, I think it was highly motivating and very exciting to be among companies at all stages, doing really amazing things, genuinely really incredible technology, incredible minds, and wonderful people, which is just on a personal level why we want to be in this sector and why we want to show up to work every day. For us as a business, it was crucial for validation. Just simply getting on the program was crucial for validation, and then as we developed with our partners, some of the utilities, and indeed some of the other startups, it was actually very important for us to develop our concept and our business model and really refine and define what we want to be as a business. And then externally, it's been truly transformational. So not only has it meant really that the pilot and the business that we've secured through the program, and I won't name the utility just in case they don't want us to, but we have like a formal kind of joint product with them going to market initially in Q1 next year. Without that, I think it's unlikely that we would have been able to raise money as we've been able to do in Q4 this year and generate, really a lot of excitement among our kind of slightly niche customer. And so for us, it's been crucial for keeping the business alive and giving us really a reason to persist with it in the face of really difficult fundraising conditions and trying to serve customers who really have not thought about what we're trying to do. So free electrons, completely transformational, completely essential. And well, I'll get to some other points later, but hopefully there are some other business opportunities to be announced with other utilities soon as well.
Yes, definitely. I must add here as well that I was so energized to see many of the use cases as well coming from the previous year and really flourishing throughout 2025. So Matt, I'm really only looking forward what 2026 and further is going to bring to you. Thank you for that. And can you walk us a little bit through how was it for you to participate in the modules, how the conversation evolved a little bit, and what is the result, like the collaboration conversations that you have already after this intensive 6 months?
So we had, even before boot camp, we had a very clear idea of what we wanted to do with one utility in particular, who relatively unexpectedly, as far as a non student would say, has a division in the sector that we particularly which we care about, which is unusual. Turned out that actually there are two utilities with divisions in that sector, which was really strange, but very wonderful to find out. Utilities really are gigantic, sprawling conglomerates, and so even if you think you serve one sector and it may not be super relevant, it might turn out that actually there's a core business division of one of the utilities that is very relevant. So something to bear in mind and really do your research on which utilities are the right partners for you. So we had this idea going in, and pretty much immediately on landing in Sydney. I mean, what a ridiculous, incredible privilege to be flown to Sydney, the most beautiful city in the world. Sorry to the Italians, but what a ridiculous privilege to be flown there. And as soon as we landed, looking out on Sydney Harbour, what we thought we were going to do completely changed. And probably for the better, because what we were thinking of doing, actually, when we've then spoken to other customers, we've had revalidated the idea that actually that initial concept was simply not going to fly, or at least not going to fly as quickly as maybe the kind of reworked version 2 was going to fly. And that's really down to that. Well, you call it collaborative innovation at Beta I in your kind of logo, and really, in those early discussions with the key utility partner that we had identified, it was clear that we needed to kind of adapt, and that they were very up for, despite all that we pitched in the kind of application process, they were very up for, actually when reality hits, you do have to adapt, of course, and what we've ended up doing is actually more exciting for us, much closer to what we really wanted to do, kind of longer term, and it's really short-circuited or shortcut our journey to kind of that stage, which is great. But of course, utilities, each of the six now, and there were seven in our year, but the six now, they all come with very different perspectives, very different market conditions, different regulatory and legislative circumstances, and the possibilities of what any of your solutions might do has to be kind of factored in. You do have to be flexible. We had discussions with other utilities where we really weren't expecting there to be any kind of fit. And sometimes they have a particular use case, they have a particular problem statement that they've been working on internally that you wouldn't otherwise know. And it's only in those discussions, and often the discussions between the discussions, that some of these problem statements and opportunities really emerge, and some of the kind of really niche business units that some of these massive companies have kind of come into view, and those opportunities solidify. So a lot of it is in those kind of softer, unscheduled moments, a coffee at the back in between sessions, but just simply having so much face time with your customers or key stakeholders who know your customers is obviously invaluable. So yeah, it's an amazing experience.
Perfect, Matt. Thank you so much. And I know that I've been accompanying as well your journey. It's been super intensive 6 months for you since we met in May, well, a little bit more than six, in Australia, and it's really great to to hear that. Thank you so much. Now I have two questions to Suchi, the let's say the other perspective, but definitely complementary to get a good view of free electrons. Suchi, could you tell us a little bit more from utility perspective? What does it mean for you to be a part of free electrons? You've been a part of the program for many years right now. Can you tell us a little bit more what benefits and opportunities does the program bring to an organization like yours that otherwise you would be really difficult to get from other places?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, I'd like to say thanks for having a great experience in Sydney, Matt, despite the rain. It was the rainiest May that we'd had on record. So it was good to hear that you had a good experience in Sydney. But look, Origin is one of the founding partners of Free Electrons. So 10 years ago, I was sitting with some of the other partners trying to formulate the application form for Free Electrons. And I think one of the key benefits for us is that it is a program designed by the utilities for the specific needs of the utility partners. So nothing like it existed at the time when we designed the program. And so a lot of the benefit that comes for us is because we have designed it in the way that is most valuable to the partners. So for Origin, being in Australia, we've got one of the most dynamic energy markets in the world, but we learn so much from our partners in different geographies. And for us, I think it is that global reach and the ability to see across different stages of what a startup or a scale up may be at, but also from different use cases, perhaps from energy, perhaps from a different vertical, that can be really valuable in helping our business kind of just look at opportunities and look at solutions to challenges that we may not have thought about ourselves. So I think it's a really valuable part of our program. It's a real cornerstone of the innovation work that we do at Origin now. Sadly, unlike some of the other utility partners, we don't have our own R&D capability. So some of the other partners have got amazing facilities where they can do testing and research themselves. So we rely really heavily on Free Electrons to kind of give us that insight and that ability to do quick tests or validation with startups to kind of help us grow in our areas of priority.
That's a great perspective, and also it's wonderful to see that the biggest proof that we are in the 10th year, and this model really works. It really keeps bringing value to you, to startups, to everyone together, creating this this community where everyone can grow. Yes, that's a great perspective. Thank you, Suchi. And second question that I don't know how many of our audience will relate to, very maybe, a little bit unpopular to say out loud, but tell us, startups often think that working with large utilities means slow timelines and complex decision making, that everything is really prolonged and takes forever. How, from your perspectives, free electrons change that dynamic? Sorry.
Well, I'd actually just pick up on something that Matt said earlier around perseverance. I think anyone coming in and considering this program should really think about it as a marathon. It's not a sprint. Come into it kind of really eyes wide open that yes, we get that first conversation happening. We can start to develop ideas about potential pilots, or it might even be direct procurement straight away. But just be really realistic about the timeframes. And we, having done this now for 10 years, we and all of our utility partners have processes and practices in place that kind of help try and expedite projects that happen through Free Electrons. It's kind of the lever that we can pull and say, this is a startup that we've met through Free Electrons, and then go to the business unit and say, this directly solves a challenge that you have at the moment, or this is something that you should be looking at, and then making those introductions, I think that really helps fast track the progress that a startup can make, because we're connecting you straight away with the right people within the organization, rather than kind of cold calling or trying to, have conversations at trade shows and things like that, which can often just be a revolving door of different people in an organization. So I think the real benefit of Free Electrons is coming in, you meet the right teams, they connect you with the right teams internally within the organization, and they really know what the priorities are of the organization to help you kind of almost tailor, or at least make your solution kind of fit in a way that will help directly address that problem that the utility may be trying to solve for.
Perfect. Thank you, Suchi. Yes, Matt, go ahead.
Is it okay if I kind of add
yes, we are going right now to joint questions, so please, of course.
Complementary response, which is, it's still way faster, probably 5 times faster to get something over the line with a utility partner through Free Electrons than through other channels. And as Suchi says, we've not got to this stage with Origin yet. Maybe we will. And as lots of people said to us as we were going through the program, it's not a 1-year program. It's a maybe many years program of continued engagement and development. And as our solution will mature, the interest of utilities will change. So we're still in the program. We're just sort of 1 lap maybe ahead of you, and there are some who are 9 laps ahead of us, 8 laps ahead of us. And so there's this kind of a huge community to learn from, lots of stories, war stories as well to learn from. But the expediting that Suchi refers to has made a huge difference. And getting clear with the partners that you want to work with early on about still what this looks like, and getting realistic, and then having your realism further checked by what's genuinely possible in these very large organizations. I used to work in a very large organization, perhaps even larger than the utilities, and I kind of understand what happens when even a contract is signed, then there's the ERP system, and that's a whole other kind of, there's nothing anyone can do. It's like a black box of doom, and getting money out of these businesses is not easy. If you expect that to happen quickly, it's just not going to happen. But equally, if you're deploying hardware, and you're deploying hardware into critical infrastructure, why are you trying to sell quickly? It's not going to happen. There's a lot of safeguards that are obviously in place. So you have to be very patient and realistic. But I think if you're in business to sell to utilities, you probably internalize this already. It's for those who maybe are selling SaaS services to a range of different sectors. This is where it will feel different. But if you've been in the energy sector, I think you will know that it has its own pace.
That's right. Good. So moving on, and I think that's something that is really related, because I think you both mentioned this perspective of what is happening from the utility side. But I think and we know that startup attitude in the program and their mindset can really often shape and even change the outcome. Can you both think of what is the attitude that startups should have in the program? What kind of behaviors help them to really achieve better results in the program? I don't know, would like to start?
I think it's from the utility perspective, when we talk with a startup that's open to listening, first and foremost, being able to hear what our challenges are, and then being able to respond in a way that addresses those is really important. Sometimes we'll meet a startup who tells us that they can do this, spectrum of things, but it's hard to understand necessarily what it is that they do specifically well that will help kind of address our challenges. As you appreciate we see hundreds and hundreds of startups a year. So we really need to very quickly come to an understanding of what it is that you do differently, what's unique about your solution, and why we should consider working with you. I think the second thing is just that, adaptability as well. Things aren't always going to go exactly as you plan. So just being able to think about, well, okay, this may not have gone exactly in the direction that we're hoping, but is there a way that we can kind of change perspective and look at it from a different way that may help reopen a conversation if it hasn't happened in that way?
Very good. Matt, anything to add?
Yeah, I completely agree with Suchi on sort of being curious rather than stating lots of stuff. I mean, to expect is, in particular when you go to the home country of a utility and they bring, whole units of people from their business to the conversations that you have with them. These are really your customers, and it's an amazing opportunity to engage with, in our space, energy storage or flexibility teams from Hong Kong, from Canada. I mean, it's an amazing opportunity to learn about these markets, which as a European, really not engaged with previously, and being intellectually humble and understanding where these companies and these markets sit, I think is really important. And obviously, out of that humility, out of that curiosity comes, comes the right questions, and then hopefully some useful answers. I think patience is important. The utility kind of liaison for the startups are dealing with not just one cohort, but then all the other cohorts, as well as preparing for the next one. So they are busy, and their stakeholders within their organizations are already doing their jobs. So you do need to be patient, you do need to be persistent. So I think we were in the sort of slightly odd position of this being kind of everything for us because we were so new. But perhaps I would not recommend doing that. I would recommend having plenty of other customers or kind of other avenues open so that you're not constantly pressing refresh on Suchi's email because Suchi's busy and it's not immediately available. She's also 11 hours ahead of us here in the UK, so it's adds another layer. But if you do the right things, if you really position, as Suchi was saying, if you really position your product or your service very clearly, and make it obvious why Origin, in her case, should work with you and buy, then things will happen. So I think being really clear, being quite pointy rather than general, I think are also very important.
Very good. And to wrap up our chat here, we've heard, I think, lots of already great advices how to succeed in the program while you're there. But I bet a majority of our audience of startups here are still before taking this leap of applying and getting to the program. So what would be your last advice, last word of encouragement to where our startups are today?
JFDI.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Matt.
Sorry, Suchi. I'm not sure I'm allowed to swear. It's also very early in the morning, too early possibly to swear, but just effing do it. Even if you don't get on, you get amazing feedback, much better feedback than you would from the normal kind of program. That's what I've heard back from people I've already recommended to apply from London. So just do it. But in your doing it, use it as an opportunity to really distill and define your propositions, and what an opportunity to learn about new markets that you might not be exploring. The world's a big world. There's a lot of emissions to cut, a lot of grid to decarbonize. So what an opportunity.
Very good. Thank you, Matt.
I'd encourage everybody who's yet to apply to please go onto the website and read the utility reverse pitch decks. I think if you understand from the outset some of the challenges that we have and what some of our priorities are, that can be really helpful when you're framing your replies within the application form. And going back to my point around being really clear about what it is that is your USP, there is a question in the application form that does ask, what makes you unique and who your closest competitors are. That's kind of one of the key questions that we look at as we're reviewing 800 plus applications. So just, take some time to really think about what it is that you guys are trying to do, why we should consider you above anybody else in that space. And that really helps us understand why we should consider putting you through to the next round. So it's a great opportunity, and regardless, as Matt said, of whether you get through to the top 60 or not, you will be assured that there are 6 utility partners and their broader teams who are reviewing your application. So that means that somebody has seen and read about what you do. And even if you don't get through this year, there is still a possibility that a utility can reach out to you and say, you didn't get through, but we really like what you do. Can we have a conversation? So I just think it is a really valuable use of a couple of hours that it might take you to fill in an application form for that longer term benefit and the opportunity to get access to some of these utility partners.
That's perfect. I think startups are ready now. Now you're ready. Now we know everything. And Suchi, Matt, thank you so much for being here today with us, taking time, and also really telling from the bottom of your heart about the program. Thank you very much. Please stay with us, because I am pretty sure we will have some questions to you in just a few moments. But before we go to that, I just have a few last slides for everyone here. So let me go back to this part. And I hope that for all of you that listen to this chat between me, Suchi, and Matt, it is clear the value proposition, USP of free electrons, isn't it? It's about developing the pilots with leading utilities, really validating, improving your solution, getting extremely valuable feedback from organizations that are your future customers, building long-lasting relationships. And we have all the data to prove that this is really happening like that. It is not a one-year program. Participation, yes, but as for the relationship, it is much, much longer. And definitely think about free electrons as an opportunity for you to gain visibility, credibility on the market, as well overview of different markets that maybe you don't know much about today or do not think or consider. Now, let's get practical, because I think still, I don't know if anybody already applied and is just here curious to hear more about the program, but I really guess that majority of you are still working on your applications or are about to start. Please do remember that deadline is 31st of January, still a few weeks to go. Applications does take some time. There are some really in-depth questions where we want you to sit and think about the best answer. Our platform to fill out the applications is F-Success. Many of you might know it. It gathers different kind of programs. Free electrons is also there. So you definitely have a link, and we will maybe my team can send it right now in the chat. And in a moment, I will also send you a QR code so you can scan and have it as well. Few tips, and I think just to complete what was already said about the applications, as Suchi mentioned, please do go to Free Electrons website, do the research on utilities, understand their perspective, because those are very, very different perspectives, and think what exactly is it that you have to offer to them. Application has lots of questions, but questions are very different to understand the full spectrum. And so please do be specific, straightforward, make it also easy to grasp the idea about your solution, about your proposition immediately after reading. Using your previous success stories, use cases is a great leverage to prepare your application. So mentioning any kind of previous collaboration use cases that you have in your portfolio, it is a great add-on. So think of which story really proves your point so that your application is complete. What is important when utilities review your application is definitely to understand how scalable your solution will be, what is the future, the potential. And potential was mentioned already many times, even by me in the beginning of the presentation. Utilities are really looking for high potential startups, obviously. And so if you are very clear in presenting your potential for the whole your business and how it can grow, it is also a great plus for your application. And now, deadline is 31st of January. Yes, this is after this date. We are not accepting any more applications. But who is following us might have noticed that this year we are giving some extra benefits, extra perks if you apply by specific date. So next the date to apply is December 21st. Although please do remember that we wait still throughout the whole January, but if you do this in the next weeks, you are going to get some extra benefits. So this is everything to really incentivize you to, after this call, go back to F-Success and finish that. We are going to send you a detailed report with challenges and pain points of utilities. This is a complementary document to everything that you have on our website and a little bit more of the framing, some points to consider in your applications. Very, very useful document. For the everyone that applied before December 21st, we are going to take your profile and send it specifically to our utilities VC arm so that they can also take a look at your profile. We know that many of you are looking into raising funds right now. So instead of only being reviewed by the innovation team, we also want to give you this opportunities that VC arms of our utilities take a look. And we are highlighting you in our Free Electrons newsletter. We are selecting some startups to be featured in our newsletter and send out to our community. So those are the 3 benefits that we want to offer to you. No time to wait. So you can grab your phone, scan this QR code. It will send you to F-Success page of Free Electrons, and I hope we will see the peak in applications still this week. Very good. Next up is time for your question. Let me call Sam. Do you want to jump in with your question, please?
Hi, thank you so much for arranging this. It's so sweet. Just a quick one. I got 2 products, actually, 2 startups together under one umbrella, one company. That means one company. Am I allowed to apply in the same portfolio, or I have to open a different portfolio for that one?
In this case, you should apply in different applications. So one for each company, definitely.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
No worries. Now, Igor?
Yeah, thank you. It fits perfectly for us because it's about pilots, yet we are a pre-revenue, still research and development heavy company, you know. Do you have approximate like numbers or possibilities of pre-revenue companies compared to revenue companies that take part in the accelerator?
For Free Electrons, most of the companies that participate are a little bit more mature than pre-revenue in your case. However,
as Matt was describing, they were the early stage startup of the program, let's call it this way. And for them, it was really important to develop and improve their product with the feedback of the utilities. So I would still encourage you to apply. Suchi, do you want to add on something?
Yes, well, we will apply definitely.
Yeah, I would encourage you to apply as well. And the feedback may be you're too early stage this year, but come back, in 1 year once you've got, and it could just be validation through a trial or something else that you've done. It doesn't have to be actual paying customers at that point.
Yeah, great. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's also nice
and
to be in the radar of the utility. So again, as Suchi was mentioning, even if in this year you're not selected to proceed in the program, you will be in the radar of the utilities for next editions, or when you improve your solution, when you increase your solution, etc.
That's great. As a follow-up question, is there a split between hardware and software? Do you treat all of them the same, or do you have a focus on hardware, for example?
No specifications here. We accept hardware, software, whatever your solution requires.
Mm-hmm. And connecting to the question of Matt, we are one company, and we are hardware heavy, but we are currently developing an AI solution at the same time. Should we apply it simply as a company?
Yeah,
And
if you have more than one company, you should apply multiple times. But if you have one company, different solutions, you should apply just once.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Sounds very promising.
No worries. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, now Michael.
I think you've just answered my question. We've got two very separate innovations which are relevant. Can we only do one application?
If you imagine that you have a pitch deck for these two specific, very different pitch decks for these two solutions, I will tell you to apply different applications, but you should have different names for the companies. And if your company is just one name, we will filter it by the name of the company. So in that case, you should only have one application mentioning the solutions.
One application with both of them in it.
Yeah.
Perfect. So. Thank you.
Giuseppe.
Hi. Good morning. Just probably somebody who have already spoken has already covered a part of my question, but so myself and my partner, we come out a large funded European project. So we incorporated a company. The question is that, so we have a defined solution actually that is piloted in several places, but we don't have a commercial activity yet. So again, is appropriate to apply, or is the application need to be tweaked in some particular way? So this is the question.
Yeah, you should definitely apply again, as the first answer that we gave, even if it's not the right time in terms of maturity, you will be in the radar of the utilities, and your solution might developed in the next few years, so you will always be under the radar of the utility. So definitely we encourage you to do it.
Thank you.
The space, Giuseppe, in the application where you can actually talk to, if you don't have customers yet, who your intended target customers are, what your go-to-market strategy is, and if you haven't got any paying customers yet, just talk a little bit about what your intention is, and if you have a roadmap around what you're trying to do, that would be helpful.
Thank you very much for the advice. Thank you.
No worries. Very good point. Sam, do we have you again?
Yes. Sorry, I missed that point. Actually, I was rushing. I am applying for the grant with the government. And what really happened is I just had a chat with a couple of universities Macquarie and Western Sydney universities. And today I had a nearly 1.5 hour chat, and they are really, really interested with our technology. Okay, this is towards the grant for the government. Okay, and they said they gave me an NDA and they're happy to collaborate because this is completely a new solution. So is that going to be fit within your site, like Arjun or any other company? Is it going to add more value to you guys, or it is completely treated separately?
Yeah, jump in, Sushi, if you want.
Well,
go ahead.
I think we'd definitely take it into consideration. It wouldn't exclude you by any means if you're, working with a research partner. But it's not also necessarily the thing that we'll look at and say, well, we would, look at you over somebody else. It would have to be a consideration of how you plan to commercialize as well. And again, what makes you unique, I think is still very important. So
it adds some value, right? If I am with collaboration with Macquarie University and Western Sydney University, that is it going to add some more value to you guys? Or
well,
not
if you're,
necessary?
it depends what stage you're at. If you're at an R&D stage where you're still trying to prove and develop a prototype, then absolutely, because they will help you kind of get to that next level of maturity. But it's not necessarily the thing that's going to say yes.
Yeah, we are in TRL number 4. We have done already the prototype and it is working. We got the video, and that's why people are much interested, and I'm getting to 4. Then I thought of making like a 30-meter trial run with a real car. So these are all the things, completely electrifying the road. Okay, that means very simple method of electrifying the road. That is what I am doing actually right now. So with that one, no, TRL 3 to 4, that means it's going to add more value, right? It makes sense, right, for you guys?
Yeah, Sam, specify these all on your application, and then it will be up to the utilities to define. Okay. And we are out of time now. Yes. We are out of time. So please, guys, if you have any extra questions, you have our emails. You can send us via email. We are always available to help you through this stage of application. And again, go ahead, apply, check F6S page. If you have any questions about the platform, let us know. And any extra questions that you may have, we are here for you.
We are reaching the end of our time, as Francisca mentioned, but I really wanted to stress here that we want to equip you with absolutely everything we know the best about making a great application. That is why we have a gift for you. One more to start and to encourage. Together with our email today, we are going to send you a short ebook. It's a brochure with absolutely the top of the top tips, how to make your application stand out, what to pay attention to, what to avoid. So that will be a document that can guide you a little bit in preparing best application. I hope you find it useful. And once more, hope you already have the link, have it open in your computer, in your phone, better, I guess, computer. It is quite lengthy. So take your time to fill it out. That's everything from us for today. Thank you one more time for all of you to be here, taking this time to be with us, get to know the program. I hope you feel energized and encouraged to apply right now. And always do count on us if you have any questions, any doubts more. We are here to help. Thank you very much. It was great to have you here.